early in the morning.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon.
And UFC Breakfast with Cotter and Sam Zayden. Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. UK. And UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the breakfast show here on NUFC Talk TV. Apologies for being late, guys. It's our second day on the job, and Sammy Boy was already late to work, so that's all right, mate. That's all right. Just keep the good people waiting. But guys, a little bit of news to get into. Some news a little bit more recent than others, but a little bit of an injury concern for, not really an injury concern, but illness concern for Bruno for the upcoming match. So that's something to keep an eye out on. And obviously Anthony Gordon experiencing a little bit of hip issues, got substituted at half time. So I'm not sure if that was a tactical thing or looking at it now, it could have been a hip issue. Sammy Boy, I can't see your camera there. Can you still hear us? I can hear you, but you've just gone offline at the moment. Let's see if I can get you back there.
Put him a beat. We're on, baby.
A little bit of technical difficulties, guys, in the background. All sorts of things are going on. But how are you anyway, Sammy Boy?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Same old. Getting ready for tomorrow's big game, or today's big game, actually. So
today's big game, yeah, over in the UK.
Definitely today's big game. So yeah, I'm getting very excited for it, man. I think we should get the job done as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's an absolute must-win tomorrow. Nothing less than the 3 points, I think, is acceptable for a very poor side that we're coming up against a side that's coming off 2 losses as well. We're back at home, looking to continue our home streak, so very, very important game tomorrow.
It's the only place we look like in Newcastle.
What do you make about the Bruno late admission, maybe, to the squad?
I heard it was a bit of illness.
Yeah, it was. Well,
yeah, hopefully he's good for the game. Hopefully. I mean, like, it would be a massive loss for us because we do tend to get a lot of creative stuff happening from him. So we don't want to try and lose that creativity. So hopefully he's all good and raring to go tomorrow.
Well, some would say at the moment he's probably one of our only creative threats besides Big Nick. Not too many other people in the team at the moment providing us with any creativity. So look, if Bruno is out tomorrow, that is a very, very big miss for me at least. Look, we can obviously bring Willick in and he can give us a lot in terms of creativity.
Yeah, him, Ramsey in as well, yeah, or Miley. But we definitely do lose that creativity if he's not in.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of things to tweak with the lineup. For your lineup tomorrow, Sammy, what sort of team? Are you looking at a pretty similar team to the team that faced Tottenham? Obviously, bar Bruno, or do you give the boys, who absolutely...
No, fingers crossed Bruno will be fine, mate. It depends. If Lewis Hall's fit to go, I'd put Lewis Hall at left back. I'd definitely start Ramsdale over Pope. But Jolinton does need to get the sack, unfortunately, for this game. I think we should put Miley in. I think Miley does a great job for us when he's in there with Bruno and Tonali. So it'll be very interesting. Front three should be the same front three. I think they'll end up firing at home. I'm not worried about that. Gordon missed the Champions League at the moment. Nick, we know what Nick does. And Murphy doesn't really tend to have a lot of bad games, but I think last week or 3 days ago was probably one of his worst, unfortunately. So hopefully we just put it behind us and get raring to go tomorrow, today, tonight, should I say. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it'll be a very interesting game.
Yeah, so what wingers do you want to see us set up with? What?
Look, I would go with the wingers that started against West Ham, to be honest with you. I think Barnes and Alenga off the bench will be very good for us if they need to go on. But personally, look, I'd rather start Alenga, but he just hasn't been performing, so that's why I'd put Murphy, because right now he's a bit of Mr. Fix-It, don't you think, or is it just me?
Yeah, fix it, Felix, mate, coming in there. But I don't think with Gordon, he's already not performing that well. I know it is a Champions League match, and Anthony Gordon turns into an absolute beast on Champions League nights, especially at St James's Park. But do you risk him if there is a bit of a concern with the hip injury?
With Gordon, does he have a hip injury?
Yeah, Anthony Gordon looks like he's got a bit of a hip injury at the moment. So
Look, if there's games to risk him on, these is the biggest games that you're going to play. So the Champions League nights. So if you're not going to risk him on this night, I don't know when you will risk him. To be honest with you, but my theory is always playing your strongest 11. Does not matter if they're out of form. Gordon has to start because he is our best left winger. So
yeah,
that's my theory anyway. I mean, other people might have different theories and might want to go for Barnes. But I feel when Barnes starts, he doesn't perform the way Barnes performs when he comes off the bench. I think they're two different players.
no, it's very interesting. I think that's probably the biggest, part of the team where I'm a little bit confused. It can go either way, to be honest. I think against this side we should be pretty comfortable. But look, I said West Ham. I was the most confident going into the West Ham game, and
You and I both, my friend.
we know how that turned out. So look, I don't want to put any sort of jinx or anything. So look, Champions League games are always hard games. It doesn't matter,
100%.
when you're playing those big games. So look, complacency will kill us, and I think we've got to put out our strongest side. But my only concern with Gordon is if he does have a hip injury, his form isn't that red hot at the moment. So
Look, Eddie Howe's known if somebody's got a bit of a niggle, he especially when it comes to your hip. I mean, without hips you can't run, mate. So you know what I mean. You need your hips to run and do your little movements. So if really he cannot run, he ain't starting. It's that simple. I mean, you're obviously going to start with Barnes, so we need to make sure that everyone is fit and rearing to go because this game is actually a very crucial game for us. We cannot drop points because these are games that we should be winning, especially at home. Our home games, when it comes to the Champions League, are going to be very vital for us. So these are the games that we really need to win. Just put out your strongest 11, man, whatever we can. But please, anything but Dan Burn at left back.
Big Dan Burn, mate. He's starting at left back.
I love Dan Burn. I do. I really do. I think he's such a solid defender, just not at left back.
No, I think we do see Dan Burney, to be honest. Probably, to be honest, if Hall is fit, I don't think we do. But big game to rush him back into. But the player that he is of his caliber, I don't think it's too much of an ask to rush him in on a game like this. But we will get to. I'll let you.
We need somebody to help Gordon on that left hand side. Gordon cannot do everything on that left hand side. So he needs somebody that's gonna go in there and try and actually help him. Where Dan Burn doesn't really help him in attack. But Gordon will help him in defense. You know what I'm saying? Like you need it to work both ways if that's the case. But with Lewis Hall, it's both ways. He's going to help him in attack and he's going to help him in defense. So if Hall is fit, Howe, start him for the love of God. Thank you.
Please, we'll pray for that tonight, Sammy, before we go to bed here in Sydney, Australia. But Craig here. Morning, guys. Looking forward to another great show. Thank you very much, Craig. I hope we're starting your morning off right, mate. We appreciate you for joining. Got a lot of good morning, guys here. Appreciating all the love. Mick, morning to you too, mate. We've got some more, mate. We're very popular today here, Sammy Boy, on the breakfast show. Cameron, good morning to you, mate, as well. And Michael, a very good morning to you too.
And good morning to everyone else.
Good morning to everyone else. It is currently 7:44 here at night, so not a good morning for me and Sammy, but for all our listeners in the UK, we appreciate you guys jumping on.
Yeah, I've heard you've had a bit of a rough week. A rough 24 hours. Cos?
Look, guys, you wouldn't believe, a little bit off topic today, but I have somehow managed to involve myself in 2 car accidents in the space of 13 hours. Which some could consider that a world record, to be honest. I don't even know how many other people in the world have managed to do that. But driving home late at night last night, about 10 o'clock, I'm literally 6 minutes away from home, listening to my music, rocking out, preparing for the breakfast show, and then bang, right behind me, I get hit. The guy decides to drive off, doesn't want to exchange details, so I went through a fast and furious car chase throughout Sydney trying to chase this guy, and unfortunately, my little card did not stand a chance. So that was my night last night, and then wake up bright and early this morning, head to university or TAFE, whatever you'd like to call it, and then I run up the back of someone else's car. So it's full circle here for Corey, but yeah, let's let's not worry about that. But a little bit about Athletic, the club that
Look, the
we're
main thing you got out of this safe and sound, mate. That's the main thing. But look, I'm not gonna lie, it is a great story to tell your kids one day.
Nah, mate, I'm not telling. That's the most embarrassing story. Those kids are never finding out about that, mate. Not a chance. But on Athletic Club Semi, probably versing them at a very good point of the season. Their two star
course.
players are out with Williams. I think it's the younger brother. It is Nico Williams and Oyhan Senset from midfield are both out for them, and probably their two biggest attacking and creative threats.
Well, Williams is definitely the biggest threat. You know what I mean? Him not being on that left hand side is great for us. But we just got to take advantage of it. Like, mate, control the ball. Don't do what we were doing against West Ham and losing it every 5 passes. We just need to we need to keep calm. That's what sometimes we don't do, is we're not calm on the ball, and I feel like that's where our midfielders got to be a bit better, because obviously your midfielders are the ones that control the play for you. So they're just guys. Even though we're not going all out attack all the time, sometimes it's good to hold the ball. You know, just that's what we need to do. Control the game, and we'll be fine.
100%. And just looking at the injury news now, it also looks like his brother Inaki Williams might be out for the game. So that's another big miss if that is the case. Two of those.
As long as
out.
his older brother's out, we're cheering. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's looking questionable for the game. So, look, that'll be a big boost if that's the case for us. I think, with those
definitely.
two out, that's a lot
Look,
of their
we
attack.
do have a couple of injuries ourselves, you know what I mean? But we're good enough to still play through that, especially at home. I mean, we've just been a different beast at home. We've been very unlucky with some of the big games, not winning them, but we have been very, very solid at home. So, I mean, I'm expecting another solid performance, especially after that performance the other night. So,
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Well, we will get into a few of Athletic Club's recent fixtures, but we'll get to a few of our comments here, guys. Thanks so much for commenting, guys. If I could remind you all to maybe like the video, it goes a long way of helping this channel and the Breakfast Show reach a bigger audience. So, guys, if you could smash the like button, that'd be much appreciated. And subscribe if you are not. But Paul here says, hope so, love. Jace, hope so. Love J7, but he's been bad for way too long, I assume. Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. If you did mean to say bad, mate, I don't know what that word might be missing, but J7 and bad, probably the two most associated words that come to my mind at the moment. So, look, I agree, mate. J7, what a servant for this club. One of my favourite players, just purely from a character standpoint, and he is, he's a fantastic player as well. But recent form, I don't think he's offering us too much. And to be honest, I think he is a little bit of a liability. So I think you agree with that, Sam. You don't want to see J7 maybe start.
I don't want J7 to start. Look, he's like we said, he's a workhorse. He brings that aggression to the squad. I don't mind that, but you got to give something to the team as well. Other than that, I feel like his passes have been very sloppy lately. He doesn't really score much either, or shoot on target, should I say? But yeah, other than that, I mean, and he's very good for a yellow card. We know that. And I think the one more yellow and he gets suspended for the next Champions League game. So, and we've only played 3 of them, I think, from memory. Yeah, 3 games.
Who
But
got yellow cards?
he's been booked twice, I think.
Oh yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So one more, he gets suspended for 1 game. So see, that's the thing. Like, we can't really have that. I feel that's the reason why I want Miley starting. I think Miley has got such a cool head, and he actually does what the team needs.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he's got such a bright future, and the more you play him, the better he's going to get. So, Eddie, play him. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Paul Wright on his team, he wants to see Ramsdale come in, Hall and Joe Linton. Oh, Hall and Ramsdale come in and Joe Linton dropped. Very much agree, mate. Marcotte wants to see Murphy. I agree, mate. I think Murphy is our most reliable winger, most consistent. And you know, with the shaky form that we are coming in, not really shaky form, but shaky performance, I think we need someone with a cool head, very reliable. So I'll definitely give Murphy the nod as well. And I do agree with that. He's the only player that tries to get the ball in the box. That is very, very true. Um, yeah, so we'll go into a little bit of Athletic Club's recent fixtures. So their last game came against Real Sociedad away from home, where they did end up losing 3-2. They were very unlucky to lose that game, conceded a late goal in the 92nd minute. So, look, that could have been a draw for them. So, not probably heaps of confidence lost for them because they did show up away from home against a pretty decent side in Real Sociedad. And then the game before that, they lost against Getafe 1-0 at home. So, look, that's not a great result, really. So, you know, coming in shaky form. So,
They're the worst sort of losses, man. I mean, we've copped that twice at home against Liverpool and Arsenal, losing to late goals. I don't think there's a worse feeling, to losing to a late goal. But there's nothing like a late goal winner as well, you know. I mean, with Bruno doing that against who was it? Against Fulham, you know. But we just need to stay calm. Just stay calm, control the game, mate. We'll be sweet. And I think we could put goals on them. If we get an early goal, especially at home, I think we can run away with it. Get a good solid.
Last time we got an early goal, mate. Last time we got an early goal, we know how that turned out.
That's why I should have put in brackets at home.
That's such a strange thing, talking about us, talking about home games and away games. It's like you're talking about two different sides, to be honest. So
it's insane. Honestly, it's insane. Like, for the amount of players that we've got in that are quality players, they're not bad players. For you to have that sort of record, I mean, it's a bit abysmal, mate. It's shocking, really.
Yeah, don't worry. I think that's definitely going to improve soon. But look, we need this win as a bit of momentum. I think we got an international break coming up, not too far away.
After the Brentford game, yeah.
Yeah, which is not ideal. It's an international break every 3 weeks now, every 2 weeks. But it's friggin' insane. I'm not a fan of the international break. Not at all.
I don't think anyone is.
Not a fan. To coin a phrase, J7 just needs a couple of weeks rest, in my opinion. He'll be backfiring after that for sure. And mate, you could be right. Maybe he just needs a reset. Look at the game from the bench, get a bit of a different perspective. That could do him a world of good. Like I said before, I love J7 not only as a character but as a player. So a bit of rest and he comes back a different player. I think that's something we all want, but it's probably a good idea to give him a little bit of rest and maybe just give him limited minutes off the bench for the next few games.
He is very solid. He is a very solid player when it comes to tracking back, defending, running. Doesn't stop running. But as a midfielder, you need a midfielder that can create. And that's where I think he lacks the most. He doesn't create much. And then when he does do mistakes with his sloppy passes, or he loses the ball because he doesn't pass, you always need Bruno and Toon Army running back just to sort of make up for his mistake. So there's a ripple effect to everything everyone does. So we want to try and minimize those ripples.
100%, 100%. Gavin Fuller here says it's a contradiction to move to possession ball when we have counter-attack players and players who can't keep the ball. Mate, I couldn't agree with this comment more. I think even in our recruitment in the summer was a little bit strange, bringing in a player like Anthony Alenga. Really doesn't suit our style of play too much. So yeah, that's a very good point as well.
Look, I think Alenga was up there on the list, but obviously we were trying to go for Boimo, which would have suited our style of play a lot more than what Alenga does. But Alenga, I think if you give Alenga a bit more time, I think he will show you really what he can do, because he shows you glimpses of it. It just doesn't do it consistently, and that's, I think, the most frustrating part for everyone. Is that, mate, if you do this consistently, I mean, we will be a very tough side to handle. You know what I mean? Not many clubs will be able to defend us, but we need those front three firing all the time, and it's disappointing that they haven't. So, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, he gets going tonight. So, hopefully, we'll see what happens there.
100%, 100%. We'll get a few more comments, and then we will have a look at the Champions League fixtures um, this match day. So, NUFC truth question. It's funny Gordon's stats prove he's the worst player on the pitch. 21 league games, no goals. 18 league games, no assist. That's a relegation form winger. Sorry, one good season, three poor seasons makes him crap. Look, I don't think he's a crap player at all, but his consistency. And look, I didn't even know the
It's not.
statistics
It's not
that
that
bad
his.
for him.
It's his.
So,
No,
go
no,
on,
no.
Sam.
Finish off, Connor. No, I'm saying I don't think he's a bad player. It's just his style of play is more running. He's a runner. He's not there to assist. He's not. He's not really. He's not that sort of player. If you look at him and you look at other sort of wingers, they're not. You know what I mean? He likes to take on players, and once it sort of takes on that player, he always likes to tend to cut in. He's always looking for that dive. I mean, he's a great diver, but he's not that sort of player. He doesn't like to create. He likes the moment of him scoring the goal. That's Anthony Gordon for you. Where you look at other players like Bukayo Saka as an example, if we're going to go off wingers, he doesn't care whether he scores or not, but he likes to create.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's different sides, there's different types of wingers, and Gordon isn't that type to sort of assist. He's not an assister. He doesn't like it.
So don't you think bringing in a striker like Big Nick, someone who likes to drop deep, links up play, a lot of people on this channel, and me myself included, say he's very similar to a Kane. Kane in his later years, how he drops into midfield, likes to link up the play. Don't you think a winger like Anthony Gordon, like you just said, he likes to run, likes to get in behind, likes to take on players. Don't you think that with signing a player like Big Nick, probably the only style of striker that really facilitates Gordon's style of play, don't you think we should really be seeing him in a lot better form considering we've, provided him that striker man to feed off?
Yes and no, because we don't have that striker. Like Nick Voltamare, I think if we end up getting another striker, or whenever Wisa is fit, he will play behind him.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree
Because
with
if
you
he
there.
plays behind him, he can hold that ball, create for somebody else. Because he's very good with his feet. So I think that's the aim. I actually think once we actually Wisa is fit, or maybe even I'm hearing a lot of things about us going big in January. I don't know if you've heard that, Cos, but I'm hearing we've got a lot of money to spend in January if Howe needs it.
Mate, I don't even. I hear that one week, and then the next week I'm like, oh, PSI is only allowing you guys to spend £250. Like, it's just ridiculous. One thing we can spend, break the bank, and then the next week we're absolutely skint. We can't
Well,
spend.
really,
So
in the summer, what was our net spend? 55 mil because of the Isaac transfer. We didn't
yeah, that
go
is.
outright. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
we've still got a big chunk to actually spend. But whether we go in January is a very hard window to actually go out there and try to sign someone. But
yeah.
we have done it in the past.
Well,
We
we
have
saw
done
in
it
the
in the past
summer.
with Gordon. Like even Gordon came out in the January transfer window, so it could happen. But I think you're just gonna have to be paying overs for somebody to leave.
Well, that's the thing. I think if we do any recruitment in summer and any significant recruitment on that in the summer, I think some of these price tags that we're going to get, it's going to be the exact same that it was at the end of the summer when we left it way too late to do any business, and then clubs was sticking 15 to 20 million onto
But
the
see, that's the
actual
problem. All
evaluation
the
of
price
players.
tags shouldn't be these price tags, but that's what the market is today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
It's
that's gonna have to stop it. There's got to be some sort of bloody handicap or some sort of prevention by FIFA or
they would
someone to
have done
stop.
it.
Yeah,
They would
I
have done
know.
it after the 200 mil from bloody Namo to PSG. Like PSG is the one that came in and literally inflated the whole market. Them
Yeah,
and Manchester City. So we were hoping we could do the same thing, but
Barcelona as well. Barcelona as well. They didn't help the courses out too much. Man
you know what I'm
United.
saying. But with the financial fair play and the PSR and that it didn't allow us to do that
Hmm.
because I mean, like really, we would have if we could.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do agree with you there. I do agree with you. We will get to a few more comments. How do you play pep ball when we don't play with a 10? That's very interesting. I'm not necessarily sure we play exactly pep ball, but I can see what you're saying with our style. Look, I think that's another big point around the club always, and it has been for a while. I think since Eddie Howe's come out, Eddie Howe's come out saying that we don't play with a recognised number 10. I think that's been a bit of a point of controversy among the fans. A lot of our fans think they would thrive off a number 10 in our midfield three, which, you know,
100%.
I have to agree with, especially in this season. We're relying too much of Big Nick to create everything, to be honest. Besides him,
So if you got a number 10, that number 10 will be when Big Nick's trying to drop into.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I think a number 10, we're screaming for a number 10. And I've said this a few times, where we go back to the Tottenham game, we saw what Willock did in that sort of position, you know, freely roaming in that game. He was incredible against Tottenham. So, look, I'd be very open to bringing in a creative midfielder in the January window. But like I said, it's just the sort of money you're paying for players, and the quality doesn't really add up. So it's just such a tricky window to buy in.
It is a very, very tricky window to buy. The only way you're literally going to buy somebody good is if that person really wants to leave, and that tries to force a move during that January transfer window. But most players don't want to leave halfway through the season, you know, unless you're in a relegation battle. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, just
I
a
don't
question.
know. I actually don't even know who I'd go for. Maybe like Camavinga or somebody like that. I'm not too sure.
Camavinga. That's a
Honestly,
reach.
Camavinga. Honestly, he doesn't
Reckon
even
he's gonna
start for Real
leave.
Madrid. You might as well get him. You'll use him. He's actually
You reckon
pretty
he's
decent.
gonna leave the Bernabeu for St James, or you reckon we got a
Why not?
chance there?
I'm hearing he's on the outer.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know, mate. You never know in this football world. But talking about the January transfer window, Semi, I think it is pretty evident that we need some sort of recruitment and reinforcement in January. Like we've just discussed for the last 5 minutes or so, it is a very bad market to do any sort of business in. But like I said, it's pretty evident that we do need some recruitment. So if you had to sign one player, one position, you know, what sort of position are you strengthening for us in January?
In January, honestly, we do need a number 10. We need a number 10. Whenever, with Wisa, obviously, he's going to go to Africa, and he'll probably be most likely gone for a month or a couple of weeks, depends how long they're going to stay in the competition for.
Congo, mate, never too much of a threat. So hopefully we can get him.
That's my point, you know. So they're probably in there for a couple of weeks, if that. So we need a number 10. We need somebody that's going to help Bruno and Toon Army with the creation, so which we lack. I mean, we lack that a lot. There's no creativity in that middle, man.
So you think you'd probably go for a number 10 over a
Need a
fullback?
number 10. Need a
Over
number 10.
fullback as well?
Of course, over a fullback, because we've got Lewis Hall, which is he's been unfortunate with injury. It's not like he's been out for the whole season.
Yeah, but that's the
Well, he has
thing though.
really.
Like, that's the thing with Trips. You know, he's only just coming back from injury for this game. He's looking a bit dodgy injury-wise.
Livramento, I think, is another 4 weeks away.
Yeah, he's still a while away. So
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, if we
Yeah.
can add depth to the squad, we do it. There's no harm in adding depth to the squad, because, like I said as well, Shear's aging, Burns aging, Trippier's aging. If we can get players in those positions, why not? I mean, go for it. Go for gold. But what we need to improve the starting squad is a number 10. And I think that's the spot we go for.
And then say we do sign the number 10 in the January transfer window. Do you think the number 10 that we would come in would be a starter? Do you think they'll drop J7 for this new number 10, or do you think that's too much? Because look, Eddie, like I've said, he's literally said that we do not play a number 10. So do you
It's
think
because
that
that's the style of play.
that's what I'm saying? So do you think
Mm.
if we did sign a number 10, do you think he would even be a starter in our squad, because we don't really play with a recognised number 10? Or do
Yeah,
you
but
think
if he wants to
be more of
improve
an
the
impact
squad, he
player?
would. But he won't
Yeah.
start him straight away either. Eddie Howe is known for whenever he makes signings, he sort of eases them into the team, into the squad, into, you know what I'm saying? Except for obviously Big Nick, because we needed the striker. So he's the only reason why he started, and started off with an absolute banger. So hopefully, if we do get a 10 and starts him and starts off like Big Nick, why not, man? But we
Yeah.
need a number 10. We need one.
Well, I'll just open up that to the chat as well, guys. In January, it's pretty obvious that we do need players. What position are you going to try and strengthen if you were in charge? Because, look, I agree, a number 10 is pretty important, but to me, I think, we're screaming out for a fullback, especially with our aging fullbacks. We've got rotation, and I think the lads that have come in to replace Tino, they've done a good job, but I think maybe just with their age and everything, I don't think it would be a bad idea to maybe look at a fullback to bring in January. So, guys, let me know what you would do in the chat, and we will bring that up. And NUFC Truth replying to his earlier comment about Gordon, then I'm sorry. Gordon's job is to create and score. It's the Prem. If he can't score or assist, sell him. This ain't a retirement home. Look, I think it's harsh criticism, but at the same time, I think it's valid criticism. You
It
provided
is valid.
you provided his stats earlier. I didn't know the stats were as bad as that, to be honest, and that form is simply not good enough. But when you've got other wingers who aren't performing either, it's kind of you're not left with many options. So we just got to hope he comes into form. But and UFC Truth, I definitely do agree with you, mate. That form is unacceptable for a player of his quality.
See, that's the thing. I think he's overhyped as well, to be honest.
Gordon's overhyped.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we had that one fantastic season, and then I think everything else pretty mediocre. Like nothing special after that.
No, definitely not. But see, I think he is overhyped. He's he suits our style of play, the way Eddie Howe likes to play. But I think what the team needs right now, it's not that.
I've got you. We'll get through a few more comments, and then we will look at a few of the other Champions League fixtures. I think this is Irish Assassin. Guys, YouTube at the moment is doing a criminal thing where they're changing everyone's username. So if it is Irish Assassin or if it is just a still bad dad, I apologize, mate. But Big Nick is missing a front man to aim for. And I couldn't agree more, mate. I think everyone's probably seen the way that Big Nick plays. He'd probably be more suited for a number 10 position with someone in front of him, I think, because we see how much of a threat he is as a solo man with no service at all. So I think if you put him in there and allow him to link up a little bit more and have that man in front of him, I think we're going to see a big improvement. And we've already, to be honest, he's probably the best performer for me. So if you can get him to perform any more, why not do it? Why not?
But he's been fantastic. He's been so good for us, Big Nick. Like if you look at most of our goals, like I said the other day, if you look at most of our goals, once he drops and he gets that ball, and then he gives it to that winger, we are full throttle in. We're literally in, but sometimes those passes just don't go to the spot that they're literally aiming for. That's the letdown. But if we have a striker that's in front of Big Nick, like, sorry, I'm not sure, I can't even see the name, but I think we will score plenty of goals because he will create for us.
It's very interesting. Like this has been a point on many shows. Is Big Nick probably better as a number 10, or do we see him as that striker that we've bought him in? Because we did buy him to be a striker. We didn't buy him to be a number 10. We bought him to be a striker. But this is a point that Gavin Fuller brings up. A lot of us are talking about Big Nick in this number 10 position, but at the end of the day, we are just fans. We have no control over that. And this is why Gavin says, Eddie keeps saying we don't play with a 10. So I don't think he has any plans of playing Wisa with him, but he isn't a lone striker. And that's exactly right, Gavin.
Yeah, but it's like us trying to buy, it was like us trying to buy Ekitike to go play with Isaac. Why wouldn't he play with a number 10? Because most likely he was going to play with a false 9 or a centre forward and a striker. So right behind each other. So I think his aim is to do that. But what didn't go our way was our transfers.
What do you think his aim is to do? Play Big Nick as a 10 and Waster in front?
I actually think eventually... Look, Big Nick wasn't really high up on our list. That's what we've got to remember as well. We were going for Ekitike. We were going for Sesko. We were going for Vlahovic. I don't know. We went for a few, man, from memory. But then we ended up landing Big Nick. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad that we actually did land him because he's been outstanding. Yeah. And in saying that, it's like Joel Linton. Whenever we bought him as a striker, 40 mil, remember that? Probably one of the worst strikers we ever bought. And especially for 40 mil. but then he became an absolutely beast of a midfielder. So this guy could potentially be a great number 10 for all we know, and obviously scores goals too. So what more do we want?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I can definitely see how that
His footwork's
system would
unreal.
work. I know. I definitely I see how that system would work, and it's pretty evident with so many of our fans saying it that it's what a lot of people want to see. But there's not a chance in hell that he was brought in to do that. Like this is a very
No, he
late.
wasn't.
Exactly right, because the thinking behind it. This is how I interpret it anyway. Obviously, with Asula, I think he was going to go to was it Eintracht Frankfurt? He was going to go to some Bundesliga side late in the
I think
transfer.
Leverkusen. From memory.
Yeah, it was late in the transfer deadline day. We're obviously looking to offload him, whether that had been a permanent transfer or just a loan. It was pretty clear that the club was trying to offload him. Eddie said in recent presses that the club really only wanted to do a loan, but I think there was definitely talks of him going on a permanent. So I think the club's thinking was that we weren't going to be with the Solar for this window, and I think that's why they probably rushed in for Wisa that much. And then if that was the case, say Asula did leave and it was just Wisa and Tomato,
We're
that's
playing with
why
one striker.
that's why I'm thinking I don't think any thinking was done by the recruitment team or Eddie that Big Nick would be playing in a number 10 position, because you really wouldn't recruit only one backup striker and then your only other backup strikers playing behind. You've got both strikers on at the same time. It's really, I don't think it's smart thinking. So I don't think that was a plan behind the club. But look, like Semi said before, J7 wasn't brought here to be a central midfielder, and that's where he played his best football. So look, anything can happen, but we know Eddie is pretty stern with his decisions. So I just don't know if we'll see Big Nick and Wisa playing together too much. But look, it's really questions.
I'd actually love to see it.
I'd love to see it as well.
I'd actually love to see, and I actually would love to see how we go with Big Nick as a centre forward and Wisa as a striker, because we do have that backup striker on the bench. I'd actually love to see how that goes with Bruno and Tonali behind, obviously Big Nick. So I reckon it'd be a very, very interesting combination.
Yeah.
It's all about combinations, man. That's what football's all about, man. You need those combos. You need those. Like Wisa's very good at making those runs, and if there's somebody that's going to be able to pick him out, it's Big Nick.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I think personally, I think would play probably our best football in that. Look, we haven't even seen Wisa kick a ball yet, but
that's true as well. You know,
we know the striker that he is, and you know if he can replicate most of the form that he produced at Brentford, I think we've got a top player.
But we'll be lucky to see him before next year,
brother. And then he goes to AFCON. He's going to go to AFCON where he got injured the first time. I don't even want to look at that. I don't want to think about that game. I don't want to look at. I hope AFCON gets cancelled. I hope it gets binned. Throw it out. I do not like AFCON whatsoever. I know it's
what's rubbish about it is that it's a mid-season and the seasons are still going. Like I don't get why they do it.
They're cracker games, bro. Like it's top quality games, but it's the worst time of the season. Literally the worst time of this. It's just like a graveyard for players.
Yeah, it's like the Asian Cup. Asian Cups as well during a season.
Yeah, I just don't think. Obviously, we don't see as many top players from the, so we don't really see the significance with that. But it is much the same time. But back to the comments here. Like we were saying before, this is a lot of the fans do want to see. Paul Wright says we need a 10 to break down the low blocks. And this is 100% right, and this is what we keep going on about. I think when we come up against a low block, we look clueless. It's like they've got a force field around the box, and we've just got players ping, 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 ping. It's a rough watch. So I agree with you, Paul. I think if we get that creative player at number 10, we will be able to unlock a lot more defenses, and it just adds a new way that we can play, which is you need to have many dimensions to your game in modern football.
I think that was the worst. I think that was the worst mistake that he did on the West Ham game, was taking off Big Nick, because he's the only one. If we sort of changed the formation and added Ramsey into it, I think that would have changed the game for us in a way where he could have created something for us. But I mean, I didn't even think we had a shot on target in the second half, and we held like 80% of the ball. This shows you how much we lack creativity. And then if you can't do it against West Ham, my God. Well,
yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that is a big worry. Look, the only positive
it is a big
about
worry.
that substitution for Big Nick is that he got a little bit more rest, but it's not
Yeah.
much of a positive to take from it, to be honest.
No.
And then Damon
The only
Davies.
positive out of that game is that the game's over.
Oh, we got to see the bubbles and they done the good song at the start. Forever blowing bubble. I love that song. Gets me very G'd up. But I still don't,
I reckon
that's
a few of the bubbles went in our players' eyes, man. They just couldn't see where
well,
the
this
hell
is
they were
what I'm
passing.
blaming the loss on. It's a slippery pitch. The bubbles, they've got too much soap in them, and it's causing an unsafe field. So we're going to retract that and give us the 3 points back.
They must
Thank
be
you very
training
much,
with the
Miley.
bubbles around the A. Like they got to get used to the bubble bloody like the soapy pitch. Yeah, they have to.
And then obviously earlier I posed a question to the chat. Who do you think we should, or what position do you think we should strengthen in January? And Damon Davies says we are weak in fullbacks and need reinforcements. And that's very true, Damon. I think that's what we elaborated on before. I think we've got rotation, we've got depth in that position, but it's aging depth, and it's depth that I'm starting not to be put too much trust in, especially with Trips' age. I think he's nearly 36 now. Kraft as well. All of them are getting old. So if we can bring in 2 players in January, I definitely think a fullback that can play on either side would be massive for us, and the number 10. But look, let's wait till January to ask those sort of questions.
That's true.
But some of the earlier Champions League games that were on yesterday. Arsenal defeating Slava Prague 3-0 away from home. Arsenal are just looking like a steam train. Unfortunately, at the moment, they look.
They score more goals without Gyökeres than with Gyökeres.
Yeah. And
Marino, mate, that bloke. That bloke's a goal scoring machine. I think we signed him in the wrong position as well. We signed him as a midfielder. We should have put him as striker.
Yeah, look, and a lot of talking points here have been about how weak we are with 3 players out. We've lost 3 players and 3 key players at that, 2 fullbacks and a striker that was presumably brought in to be a starting striker. Look, those 3 players being out have derailed us a lot more, I think, than any fan was probably anticipating. And then you've got a club like Arsenal. Zubamendi they had out today, Gyökeres, Madueke, Odegaard, Havertz, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus. And look, that's not just for this game. A lot of those players have been unavailable to Arsenal for most of the season, and they're just playing. They're playing unreal despite injuries. And
They are playing. I don't think anyone comes close to Arsenal this season. I think Arsenal's football this season has been like top notch, and they don't even look like missing a beat at the moment, even though they've got the injuries. Look, let's face. I'm just going to be a bit respectful here, in a sense, like they did verse a very weak side.
100.
And with the players, those injuries in the game came at a good time for him. You know what I mean? I mean, if it was Bayern Munich and you had Marino up front, I mean, it's probably a whole different ballgame. But at the end of the day, you can only versus in front of you. But still, in saying that, all credit to Arsenal. I mean, they've been top notch this season, and I don't think anyone comes close at all. Like I've got them up there, very close to winning the Champions League this season, if not both the Premier League and the Champions League. So it'll be very interesting to see what Arsenal does this season. But I can't stand Arteta. Sorry, I just got to put it out there. Bloody hate Arteta. That bloke cost me a game. The first time I went up to Newcastle, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to shut the door, Sammy, because my dad, he thinks our house is IMAX. The bloke's got the movie at about 3,000 volume. So I got to shut the door. Sammy, tell you a little story while I do that.
No worries, we'll do, mate. So the first time I went up to Newcastle was in March 2020. So this is right before COVID. I was in Newcastle. I actually got a article written about me by the Newcastle blog from Ollie. He actually wrote an article about me.
Celebrity news, Sammy boy.
Yes. So anyway, literally the day before the game, all games get cancelled. Why? Because Arteta got COVID. And I was just like, from then I've hated Arteta, until now I hate Arteta.
Is that the reason the game got cancelled? Because Arteta got COVID?
Because Arteta copped COVID. I don't know what Newcastle's got to do with the London club, but far out. Hey, look, to be honest with you, I'm actually kind of glad he got cancelled, because I went at a good time to go and watch Newcastle, because I ended up going in 2023, right before the World Cup. against Chelsea when Willock scored that banger from outside the box.
Oh,
The
that's a
season
good
we
game.
finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a top-notch game, cracking atmosphere. So yeah, it sort of worked out for my 30th birthday. My wife
Very good
actually,
birthday present for me.
my wife got me that birthday present.
Mate, I'm gonna have to get a wife. I've got no one buying me bloody trips away to Newcastle. That's for sure. Yeah, so look, capping up on the Slava Prague Arsenal game, they look like a very dangerous side. And look, Arsenal, their only problem in the last few seasons has been their mentality at the later part of the season. So let's hope, for everyone's sake, that keeps going on. But Arsenal winning 3-0 against Slava Prague. Then Napoli took on Eintracht Frankfurt at home. I actually watched a bit of this game. It was absolutely boring. I would rather watch karaoke at my local pub. Shocking game, to be honest. Then Atletico Madrid beat Union Saint Gallen, a team that we like very much after our earlier performance this season. They
It's
ultimately
about the
beat
only away performance we actually performed in.
yeah, they managed to score a goal against Atletico Madrid, so big up to USG and thanks guys for not turning up when we versed. Then Monaco beat Bodo Glimt 1-0 away from home. Juventus obviously drew 1-1 with Sporting, another very, very boring game. And then an interesting one that I lost some money on because I'm a gambling man, and Liverpool to me this season, I think I didn't back Liverpool to win. I didn't bet on Liverpool once this season, and I think I bet on them the first game was the game they lost on their first 5 losing streak. I then said Liverpool on the second game, they're not going to do that again. Backed them, bang, 2 in a row. Then I said the third game, they're not going to lose 3 in a row. So what's Corey do? He bets on Liverpool a third time, and he loses a third time. Liverpool, I can't stand Liverpool. They make me lose money. They make me lose my mind. It's a club I do not like. And they did defeat Real Madrid 1-0 at Anfield,
That's the
which
game
is
I watched. I
something.
watched the whole game of that one. It was actually a
Yeah,
very entertaining game. And just a shout out to Bradley, man. That bloke shut Vinny like he was absolutely nothing. Vinny, I think he's one of the most overhyped players in the world, in world football.
Vinicius.
Vinicius Junior. He's so overhyped.
That's what I
I mean,
thought
if you
about
can't go
Rodrigo.
past Bradley, I mean, there's got to be an issue somewhere.
That's what I thought about Rodrigo. I thought he was like a worse version of Vinicius, and I didn't think
I
Vinicius
think
was
they're
an
both
incredible player,
overrated.
but
I think they're both overrated.
I think Rodrigo is definitely overrated. But did you see Liverpool, winning that game,
I
or at
did. I
least?
watched it.
So
You know what? Solid performance
before
from
that
Liverpool.
game, I
They
mean,
played really well.
before that game, going into it, did you think they were going to get the result though?
To be honest, I thought it would end up as a draw.
Yeah, so did I.
I thought I
Real
thought I thought
Madrid
Real
were-
Madrid would get something out of that game. But Liverpool, credit to them. I mean, they turned up and they literally battered them. Yeah, I mean, they were all over them. They didn't give them a chance.
I think Robertson just provides so much more stability for them. I think they play a lot better with Robertson in. And we haven't seen him a lot earlier in the season, so whether that had been the reason for Liverpool maybe run into a bit of a blimp, because he did feature in some of those losses. So, look, they've just come good. Big mentality switch, and like you said, I think Connor Bradley was absolutely fantastic.
He was surely their man of the match. Yeah.
No, I think it went up to McAllister, but he was a close second. It was a close second. So look, guys, Liverpool beating Real Madrid at 1-0, unfortunately. And then we went to Mr. Marinakis's second side, Olympiacos. They got a 1-1 draw against PSV Eindhoven. And then another cracker game, one I didn't watch, but just looking at the game, Bayern Munich defeated PSG 2-1 away from home. They also got a red card. They got a red card pretty early in the game, and they managed to hold out PSG.
Well, they
And
were
you
up
can
2-0
see
because
why
Diaz is the ones that scored both goals, and he's the one that got sent off. But I think the red card came in towards the end of the first half, so it was
Yeah.
basically right before half time. But what a shocking tackle, yeah.
I honestly haven't seen anything, to be honest. But that's a big
Hakimi
result.
got injured from the tackle.
Did he go off?
Yeah, they took him off. The bloke was crying, mate. I mean, he must have done something serious for him to start crying.
No, fire. It doesn't take much for most footballers these days, but
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
hopefully Hakimi is all right. And then the last game of that match day was Tottenham defeating Copenhagen. Is that how you say that team? I don't even know, to be honest.
Copenhagen, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
They
doing all
beat
right, cuz. You're doing all right, mate.
the Aussie accent, mate, and the dyslexia does not help at times, guys. But I try my best. They won 4-0 at home, and they got a red card as well. A much needed win for Spurs. I think they've been a little bit shaky with Thomas the Frank engine lately. So that concludes all of those games. Anything on any of those games, Semi Boy?
Bayern Munich, mate. Great
What a side,
performance
eh?
away from home, eh? You know what?
They're-
They're strong. I think they'll get very close as well. They've just been a tough side to verse these days, haven't they?
Yeah, they don't even draw
I
many
think
games
I
anymore.
don't think they've lost a game. I think they've won 14 or 15 games in a row to start
Yeah,
the
they're
season.
coming up against decent sides as well. When Vincent Kompany went over to Bayern Munich, I thought, what a dreadful appointment. I did not think that was going to
It went
turn
from
out
Burnley to
well.
Bayern Munich, and it's just
What a weird appointment, eh? What a strange appointment.
it was a strange appointment. I'm not going to lie, but you know, I make credit to him. He's gone out there and he's done so well for him. And Kane,
Yeah.
mate, Kane's absolutely killing it for him.
That was like when I used to play career mode and I'd retire Longstaff and I'd take him to like Real Madrid. Longstaff was the greatest manager in the history
I'm not
of the
going to lie,
game.
you look a bit like him though, yeah.
Yeah, we're long lost brothers. Some would say I'm more of a natural footballer, but obviously, guys, injuries have prevented me from becoming the next
I
Longstaff.
thought you were a
So,
natural driver.
man, I can't drive a car or kick a ball, but I try my best. I try my best. We will get back to a few of the comments, guys. Sorry we've missed some of those. Gavin Fuller here says, when playing against low blocks, we need a 10 instead of J7. And I agree, Gavin. I think that's a very good point. I don't think you need to be set, to one tactic, one formation, one way to set up a team. So I think if we see a little bit of variation with that midfield three, I think that's what's so good about playing a 4-3-3 is you can tweak it a lot. So I think that is a very good point. Paul is also agreeing with Gavin and a few of the other people on tonight's show. I think Gordon is overrated too. And I don't think they would get too much of criticism, that comment, mate. A new person here, Toon Army. Thank you very much for coming onto the video, mate. We need another Murphy, someone who can pick a man out with a cross and also score several goals a season. Look, mate, if we had someone on the left as reliable as Murphy this season, I think the league table would be looking a lot different. I think Murphy has been our only consistency. The left-hand side for me has been pretty poor. Whether that be down to obviously the defensive liabilities we have at left back, maybe the left winger maybe having to do a little bit more defensive responsibilities than would like. Maybe
I just think he gets tired out. He gets tired out. Look, I'm going to defend Gordon here a bit, and I've said it from before. I'm like, having Dan Burn as a left back does not help. Where you see him get very close to scoring goals and creating goals was at the start of the season when Livramento was on the left because Lewis Hall was out. Because Livramento actually helps him. They go up and down together. Where Dan Burn can't keep up. He can't. By the time he's up there, he has to go back and defend. That's the big problem. You know what I mean? So with Gordon, he's getting tired out. He's just running up, down, up, down, up, down the whole game. I mean, by halftime, mate, like I don't even know how it comes out at halftime.
Yeah, he didn't the other game, so
Yeah, he did. He actually didn't.
he ran himself into the grave, mate. The hip needs a hip
Mate,
replacement.
you know what? He actually did. He really did.
Needs a hip replacement. But Toon Army, mate, I agree. Someone on that left-hand side with the same consistency as Murphy would do us a world of good.
Definitely.
Gavin on the January window, he says, get another striker, then put Nick in the 10. That's probably a smart thing to do, to be honest, and I definitely would not be opposed to that. NUFC.
Apparently, I was hearing a lot of the who's the Atletico striker that came on in the second half, the Norwegian. I can't remember what his name was. Apparently, we were going after him. Yeah, Sloth, that's the one. Yeah, apparently we were going after him. What do you think of that one, Cos?
I'm going after Sorloth.
Yeah, I actually heard that we were going for him.
Look, he's a great striker, mate, but he would slow us down tenfold.
Big time, yeah.
Oh, big time.
I don't know why. I reckon
Larson.
Larson would hit different levels with us if he was to actually come. I actually rate him. I actually think he's a very good striker.
How many strikers were we linked to in January?
During the summer, minimum 6.
Sorlock, Larson, Ekatike, Sesko, Wisa.
Valdemare, which we actually got over the bloody line.
Can we have Callum Wilson back? They're probably asking that as well. That was
no, please.
That was insane.
He's more injured than who's our most injured player right now. Bro, that bloke plays. I swear to God, 10 games in 38. I'm surprised he still plays for West Ham.
And then we've got Irish. I don't know if it's mate. I apologize. Let me know if it is you, Irish Assassin. But if it is not, still bad. Dad says, could we not use Neve while we wait desperately for Wisa to become fit? Look, mate, that's definitely a good idea. But like we're talking about earlier with this number 10 discussion, a lot of us want to see these sort of things, and I think that'd be a great idea because we don't see enough of our young lads in there. So I think that'd be a fantastic idea. But it's just something that Eddie Howe doesn't like to utilize the youth too much. So while it's something,
our youth sides haven't been that good because I mean, if you look at their results aren't that crash hot at the moment.
But I think you still need to bring at least your top performer or maybe the top emerging player from that. It just involve them a little bit more in match days in the cup, even if it's on the bench coming off, in the 88th minute, just to get a feel of the game. I think that'd be a good idea. Kim Cam, thank you for joining, mate. I haven't seen you before. We appreciate your comment. Good morning from London. Good show, lads. Good morning, Kim Cam. Thank you very much for joining us, mate. We appreciate it. Paul Wright says, thoughts on getting another number 6 so Sandro Tonali can play where he does for Italy and is a force. Yeah, so get
move him up the pinch.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I think it's a pretty good idea. I think some of the games we've performed our worst this season, we've seen Tonali having to do a lot of cleaning up. And look, when he's too busy trying to clean up other people's messes, we lose so much of the quality that he has. So I think bringing in a midfielder who solely wants to sit back, because a lot of our midfielders don't, no one really wants to just sit back there. So if we get to recognise number 6, I think that'd be fantastic, and very similar to what I think a striker would do for Big Nick. Will just open up us a lot more and give Tonali a lot more of a key to go forward. What do you reckon, Sammy boy?
I like Tonali towards the back. I think him being behind those two midfielders, I think would be better for us.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because he can create something out of nothing and he can defend. He's quick. Mate, he's a maestro. He really is. The bloke can do everything. There's nothing he cannot do. But what we do is we lack creativity. So if we can get that creative midfielder, maybe they can bounce off each other.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think it will open up us a lot more.
And it will open us so much dimension. Just the dimensions will be completely different. So I think creative midfielder is a must. We need to get one.
100%, 100%. We will get back to more of the comments here, guys. We've got a lot more of the show to go. But I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, the screen for you guys is probably looking a little bit different to what it does traditionally. And that is because I do not know how to use a computer for the life of me. And I've done some dodgy things in the background. So what I'm going to try and do here live with you guys, we're all doing it together. I'm going to see if I can fix up the screen. So if you see Sammy or me's head jumping around everywhere, just bear with me for 2 seconds because I am going to try and get this back. There we go, Sammy, we're back. We are back. It looks a lot more professional now. You can call me Steve Jobs after that IT masterclass. Guys, I don't charge for those lessons, but yeah, a little bit of a delay there, guys. Sorry about that. But Gavin, again, Liverpool were being took apart by long balls by Villa and Madrid. Never played that way. Liverpool were being took apart by long balls. Villa and Madrid never played that way. Yeah, I think Liverpool today they were pretty defensively sound for me, to be honest. I think Real Madrid looked pretty void. I only watched the second half, so I can only really comment on that. But I think Real Madrid were pretty poor, to be honest, today, and didn't really look like the side they usually do. Whether that be just a difference in quality from La Liga to Premier League, because I think the difference between Premier League and La Liga oppositions is only increasing every season. I think the gap's huge now, Semi, between
I
most
think it's
La Liga
absolutely.
teams.
You know what? I think it's been big for a while, but I think these last few years, it's just gone from here to there, bang. Like it's just well above the rest. The Premier League. The Premier League is one of the hardest, if not. But you know what? I've had a conversation with one of my mates, and he's like to me, he's like, I think the Premier League is harder to win than the Champions League. And you know what, man? I totally agree with him. I think Premier League is
Hundred
just
percent, the Premier League's hard. It's any league
yeah.
format that one's going to be bloody.
Not as in, no, as in there's more difficult sides in the Premier League than there is in the Champions League because you're obviously going to get your bit of your benchmarks, but then you're going to get a lot of weak sides. I mean, if you put Fulham in the Champions League, they'll probably finish mid-table at least. Like, do you know what I mean? Because the rest of that competition is really not up to scratch. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's called the Champions League, and every nation has a club in there, I guess, or a few clubs in there.
The
So
Champions League, even today, definitely isn't the quality that it used to be. And I think that's
no
just
chance,
due
no
to the
chance.
additions of so many teams. You've got teams like Pathos. Like some of these teams I haven't even bloody heard of, to be honest. So the Champions League is definitely a
And
lot of these.
I think the format just doesn't give you that kick that you want the way whenever you were in a group stage. Like I
Oh,
feel like this time round is completely different to the first time round 2 seasons ago. You know,
yeah.
I feel like even if we lose this, obviously we've got another chance because there's other people that are losing on the table. Where mate, you've only got 4 teams. You have to beat those those three sides at least 3 times, or you got to win 3 games out of 6.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
You
it's
know what I mean?
definitely that's the other thing. Like they've added a lot more games to this new Champions League format, which is for me is a major downside. I don't want to see any more fixtures added on to any competition. I think the schedule and the congestion already is ridiculous. So to change to this format and then add even more is pretty criminal for me. And like I said, it really dilutes the quality of the league. We're just seeing so many pretty drab and boring games with sides that really, to be honest, there's no disrespect, but should probably be playing in the Europa League. We're seeing a lot of those sides come into the Champions League. So, and just getting back onto
Yeah,
the
and
go
And
Sam,
as
sorry.
well, like a couple of guys have told me as well, like, see how you got the pots. So they put you pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, pot 4, and then they're like, it doesn't really favor anyone being in that top pot because regardless, you have to verse 2 from each side,
Yeah, no, hundred
like from
percent.
each pot. So it's not really an advantage if you're in pot 1 because at the end of the day, you still got to verse someone. You got to verse two teams from there, which I do
Yeah.
understand. But I mean, if you're good enough to make it, you should not worry about who you're versing.
So yeah, I'm still a little bit confused with the whole format, to be honest. But I've been playing Monopoly for 25 years of my life, and I still don't know the rules. So I don't think I'll
I
be
swear.
I don't think I'll be learning these Champions League rules anytime soon. But like, look, what I was just trying to make with that point is that I think the quality in every league besides the Premier League is obviously going down. I think probably the Saudi League is maybe the only other league you could say has probably gone up in quality in recent years, besides the
Yeah,
Premier League. But I think that's not only an issue with the Liga. I think that's an issue in the Bundesliga. I think that's an issue in Serie A. I think it's just an issue, around Europe at the moment. I think the Premier League is just dominating the
completely
market.
dominating. It is.
Yeah, because it's not even really the difference between Real Madrid and the mid-table teams. That difference is huge. But it's even the difference in the quality of Real Madrid and Barcelona. They're not the same size that they used to be, 7, 8 years ago. So I think we're probably going to see that even more as
Well,
season.
whenever you have two of the best players to ever play the game, and one on each side, I mean, surely you're going to. I mean, like, you know what? You go back and you look at some of those Real Madrid and that Barcelona squad. My God. I mean, you're not even talking about a team of good players. Like, you're talking about a team of greats. Like, there's literally just anywhere you look at, it was a great player. Like you look back at him and say, you know what, he's one of the greats. They had 11 of them.
Yeah,
You
that's the
know,
thing, mate.
so
It's very hard
I mean,
to.
when
When Marcus Rashford is, Barcelona's marquee forward man, there's bloody big concerns to be raised.
hey, you know what, built a goal against us though. My God, what a hit that was.
Look, he's a great player. He's a very consistency-based player, but from Messi to Rashford it's
Yeah,
sad.
obviously. I mean, look, you're not going to get a Messi and Ronaldo again at the same time ever.
No,
I don't think that's ever going to be seen again. I mean, we lived in a great time, an
yeah,
era that will probably not be replicated. Like it was insane to
no,
watch and witness these two players uh, go at it. You know, it was just unfortunate it wasn't in the Prem. It was in the Spanish league, but it is what it is, I guess.
100%, 100%. Back to a few more of our comments. Looney Toon, I think you and you as well, mate. So welcome aboard. Thank you very much for joining. Start Lewis Hall left back.
I
Yeah,
would.
mate. He's had plenty of rest. We didn't see him feature against West Ham, so even that a little bit of additional rest probably goes a long way. I think it's a big game to bring him back, bring him back into, but the game after that's Brentford, so they're all big games. So if you are going to bring him in, it maybe is the best time to bring him in, and I probably assume you agree with that as well, Semi Boy.
Yes, please. I
Well,
love myself, me Hall.
get Hall in there ASAP, and then we have
ASAP.
Queen, one of the OGs, one of the legends of the channel. Corey, you're doing a fine job. Thank you very much, Queen, and thank you for waking up early morning with us. And then we have still a bad dad. Lewis Hall isn't 100% match fit. Otherwise, Eddie Howe would defo play him. And I think you've definitely got a point with that. But I think that's maybe why we've seen him feature on the bench against West Ham. Maybe he's just trying to acclimatise him, get him ready for this game. So I think we might feature him. Cameron Roach, we need better defence, Corey. What do you think? Better defence, mate. To be honest, I think our defence is probably the strongest part of our squad at the moment. So unfortunately for me, Cameron, I think defence would probably be, besides the fullbacks, I think that's probably the last place I think we need strengthened.
No, it's not. We definitely, like we spoke about this earlier. They're definitely aging. We are going to need to strengthen at that in those positions. But come January and you got Livramento fit and Hall fit, hopefully, fingers crossed, you go for that number 10. We need to get a number 10 in. Summer transfer window will get you those outside backs, my friend.
We will for sure. I hope so. Anyway, mate, with our recruitment, you never know what they're gonna.
Oh, don't worry, mate. Newcastle United gave me a buzz, and I'm going to be their recruitment manager coming up into the summer. So we'll see what happens. Yeah,
Head of
you guys
recruitment.
just told me. Yeah, of course, yeah, mate. Yeah. I'm the head of recruitment there. I'm the new
If
sporting director. So
Semi was the head of recruitment at Newcastle United, our entire budget would go on cigarettes and black coffee. So we would have nothing
Hey,
left.
speaking of a cigarette, I'm about to have one.
He's doing Win and Gary great respect with his cigarettes, mate. It's all a tribute to the two OGs of the channel.
Somebody has to do it.
I'll spark one up soon, mate. Don't worry about it. The only way Lewis Hall will get match fit is to play him. Dan Burn seems to be Eddie's favourite. That's 100% right, mate. You're not going to get any fitter off the bench, and like I said, there's no easy games coming up. So, look,
That's the
I don't
thing,
want
mate. We need to. But yeah, then again, like that is the absolute. Um, that's the absolute right way to go about things. I mean, if you're not playing them, they're obviously not going to get any better. So that's where I look at Lewis Miley, and I think he's had so far every game he's played very, very good in. I think he's one that we should be starting week in, week out.
No,
Honestly,
I agree, 100%.
I think when he's on, he's been one of our most consistent and best players so far this season. Bloke's 19. He's got an absolutely unbelievable future in front of him.
No, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. We have hit the hour mark here on the breakfast show, guys. So if you are joining us recently, and you might have missed any news. Bruno Guimaraes is questionable for the game. A little bit of illness. It's not an injury concern or anything, but a bit of illness, which I think has affected a lot of the squad throughout parts this season. So I don't know what's going on
We'll
there.
just blame it on Tonali. I mean, he was sick last week as well, so.
That's what I mean. Tonali's come back. He's gotten everyone sick, mate. He's gotten everyone crook. So they're going to have to start wearing masks at the training ground again because I don't want to see no players out of a game for a flu or a cold because that is not good for me.
No, don't worry, mate. Captain Bruno will be there. Captain Bruno will take us all the way, mate. Don't you worry.
I don't think he. Look, I don't think Eddie would have mentioned that if it wasn't a concern tomorrow. So I don't know if he starts.
It's all mind games, mate. Press conferences are all mind games.
Eddie Howe doesn't strike me as the mind game player, to be honest.
No.
But again, he could be outsmarting me, playing ultra mind games, putting a defense.
He knew you were going to be on and talking about it, cause.
Yeah, so Bruno questionable for the game tomorrow. Anthony Gordon also dealing with a bit of hip issues, so we're not too sure if we will see Gordon feature, but I do imagine he will be involved. Whether that's off the bench or starting, I'm not too sure, but a hip injury is giving him a bit of concern. And then also, not necessarily breaking news, but news that has come out within the last 24 hours. CCO Peter Silverstone has been placed on gardening leave with speculation of a move to Juventus. Don't know too much about him. I think we signed him from Arsenal to be a chief director or something like that. There's that many jobs at this football club. I don't know what many of them do, to be honest. But it is reported that he has been put on gardening leave and is looking likely to leave the club. So that is all of the major news at the moment. But we will
Look, I think it's a good move, though. I think it's a good move. Like, I think it's time to actually get someone in there that's going to take us to that next level. I mean, he's come in. He's done an outstanding job. I mean, he's the one that got us Seller back. He got us. He got us back with Adidas, Noon. You know, he got us some good sponsorship deals with Red Bull, sports bets. Like, you know what I mean? He's done really well, but there's still sponsorship deals that we can go for, like on the training kit, the training ground. You know, there's still a lot of spots that are vacant that hopefully the person that we bring in gets us good deals for, because there is money to be made. So if we want to hit that next level, guys, get that done ASAP.
Obviously think with the new leadership and the new backroom staff, I think they had like a 100-day review coming up or anything. So they've probably assessed. I don't know if this comes from the club maybe nudging him or giving him an idea that the club no longer wanted him, you know, at the club, or if he's left on his own accord. There's not too much that I can see about it right now. But all I can report is that it is looking likely that he does leave. And like Semi does, he has done a somewhat decent job. Maybe some were thinking he'd do a little bit more coming in from Arsenal, but look, guys, it's a pretty difficult position with all the, like we've said before, the strength of the Premier League is only improving, and with that comes a lot of competition for these sort of commercial spots, these commercial avenues. So
we need those commercial deals. Unfortunately, if PSR's still around and financial fair play, we need the best deals we could possibly get. So hopefully the next person that comes in gets those deals done for good money too. So
100%. Maybe Semi Boy, you can, once you become the new chief operating officer of Newcastle United, you can sponsor the news agency that you own on the training kit, mate.
Mate, you know what? The news agency isn't doing too well at the moment, mate, unfortunately.
Oh, no, mate. Semi Boy, don't worry. That's why we're becoming professional pundits. We won't need to
That's
go
it, mate. Yeah, so hopefully we're looking for a career change.
Hopefully, mate, because being an electrician, I don't want to see another screwdriver in my life. I can't stand it. And then, so that's all the breaking news, guys, at the moment. So we will get back to a few of the comments. George Logo here says, "Hey boys, great show. Where in Oz are you based? Do you attend any Newcastle gatherings?" Me and Semi are both from Sydney, Australia. Semi's probably, where are you? About 20 minutes away from CBD, Sydney, or
Mate, it's about 20, 25.
20
It
minutes.
depends
Yeah,
which way you go, though. You go on the M5, yeah. So the M5 is like a freeway here in Sydney that takes you straight to the city. Yeah, it's about half an hour, mate. It takes about half an hour. But if you go the back streets, forget it, mate. You're looking at about an hour and a half with the Sydney traffic. 2 lanes is the max around those areas. So
Sammy's a bit of a rich boy. Lives in the posh areas. Very rich boy. Look at him, mate. He's got his own flag in the background, his own man cave. I'm a
I
little
didn't
bit
know flags were worth thousands of dollars.
I'm just saying that, and I realised how stupid it sounded, but I couldn't stop saying it. I just finished the sentence, but yeah. So Sammy's a rich boy out in the city, and I'm about an hour away from the city, in the Campbelltown area. If you are familiar, George. But mate, we don't go to any Newcastle gatherings besides if it's in Semi's garage, mate. If Semi's hosting something, maybe we'll meet up for a game, but. Unfortunately, no gatherings for us at the moment, but we're hoping Chris flies us out to Newcastle and we go meet all of you lovely people.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But yeah, like, you know what? Honestly, I'd actually love to sort of do a gathering, but not in my household. My household's not big enough. I don't know how this bloke's saying I'm rich. I'm not that rich, guys. Just putting it out there. But
so yeah, I'm not that rich. That indicates that there is some sort of level of richness.
mate, I've only got 10 houses, 5 cars. No, I'm just kidding. Man. But it's we're definitely. Hopefully, this goes well, and we kick on from there. And we go to Newcastle and meet the good folks up there. So
100% would love to meet all of you lovely people and get on the beers with everyone down there. But we appreciate your comment, George. Thank you very much, my friend. Dempsey as well looks like a new viewer. Thank you very much for commenting, Dempsey. Question for you both: do you think we would be better off sticking a sack of potatoes at left back and hoping opposition just trips over them? Mate, that would have to be a pretty big bloody bag of potatoes if they were going to be the same size as Dan. If you can get 6'7" worth of potatoes, mate, then you can chuck him back in there. But I don't think so. I love Dan Burn, boys. We've got a few Dan Burn lovers in this channel, so I've just got to.
like I said, I don't mind Dan Burn. I've said it multiple times, and I'll keep saying it. I don't mind him. The bloke's making England, like he's making the England squad, so he's not a bad player. He's just a very bad left back. He does not play left back. He's not a left back. That's where he is vulnerable. I mean, if you're vulnerable somewhere, would you go and do it?
Yeah. Okay.
No, like it's rocket science, mate. Like it's not rocket science. You're just gonna go and like you're gonna do what's best for the team, and him being there is not best for the team, unfortunately.
100%. Yeah, I'd much rather like to see him come in and play centre back every now and again. But look, he's doing the job that he's been asked to do. But we won't go on that for too much because it sounds like a broken record here.
The mighty wine, mate.
It's like Groundhog Day with Dan Burn. You wake up, criticize him, go to bed, wake up, criticize.
Oh, well, mate, you think I'll wake up, look at my ceiling, and go, oh, damn, burn out left back. Right.
That's what I do. That's my first one. I don't even brush my teeth before I was thinking about Dan Burn out left back. But Kenny here says the championship is the hardest league to win, obviously speaking before when we're talking about the most difficult competitions. And I think, mate, that's a shout there, to be honest. A championship, that's just ruthless. That's a rugged competition. To play as many games as they do and as frequent as they do. And a lot of quality in the championship as well. Like you look at the second divisions of many other leagues, you know, some championship teams would probably be the top of some European leagues. So look, the championship is a very demanding competition, as us Newcastle fans know too well.
Not that we're happy about it. I mean, we should have never been there. Let's face it. A club of the size of Newcastle should never be in the championship. Sunderland's more than happy to be down there, and they had a little bit of taste of League One too. Hopefully they went down to League Two, but it didn't happen for us, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
From League One to second place in the Premier League, Sammy.
Yeah, mate. These guys are absolutely freaking flying at the moment, aren't they?
If my two cars,
you know what? Look, we are all Newcastle fans, but we are all football fans as well. You know what I mean?
I don't want to hear.
No. I'm not complimenting anyone, but it's just the game of football. At the end of the day, At the end of the day, they're playing good football, man. Like honestly, they did it. That was a great game. The other game between Sunderland and Everton. It was actually a very highly entertaining game. As a football fan, I mean, it was a great game to watch. Or was it just me? I
think it's
know
just you.
we're all Newcastle fans and we hate the living daylights out of Sunderland. I get it. I hate them too. Sorry, we'll give them a bit of a smack coming up against them in December. So we're not far off that actually. Yeah, about a month, about 6 weeks away, are we?
Not at all, mate. Not at all. I'm kind of dreading that game a little bit, but we'll get into that a bit
Well, look,
more.
if our away form is still the same, yes, I think we will be.
Yeah, no, that away form is a major concern for me. Kenny here, Darren. I looked to see where Wednesday were as it's rumored. Sheffield Wednesday. Ashley, yeah, look, Ashley is rumored to be buying Chef Wednesday. That is very, very bad news for them, unfortunately. Look, I don't think if you're a fan of that club, I don't think you're filling up with too much confidence about that appointment. I don't think
Why?
he should.
He's got nothing to suck out of them, so really he's going to help them out.
Mate, he'll find a way. He'll take the seats from the training ground and then put them outside all of the Sports Direct things so people have a public seating area. Mate, if he doesn't have finances to take out of a club, he will find something to take out of that club.
Yeah, you know
He'll
what
take
he
away
is
the
like.
oven
But
from the
you know what's funny?
campaign from the
People keep saying that Draculas are a myth. No, they're not. You just show them a photo of Mike Ashley. The bloke's a
never saw him.
blood-sucking demon, isn't he?
I never saw him once in the sun, mate. Not once. So there could be a conspiracy theory that he's a vampire.
You know what that reminded me of? The Bubble Boy. Remember that movie?
Oh, every time I hear that bloke's name, I just get flashbacks. Yeah, look, he might do a good job for Wednesday, but it's really not something I want to hear.
Bro, I honestly, man, I started supporting Newcastle literally right before he took over.
Well, at least you got a little bit of a grace period before you got smacked into an abusive relationship with Mike Ashley.
Abusive relationship. Those were hard times for me, man. Far out.
100%. That was just hard times for anybody,
Yeah.
Newcastle supporter, mate. But we are on the up and up, and fortunately for us, that is all a very distant memory. But
Thank
Darren
you,
says,
SMB.
thank you very much. Premier League might suffer if the salary cap gets voted in, as players might not choose the Premier League going forwards. Look, mate, I think that's a very, very good point, and I think that's probably why we won't see it happen. I think the league is gonna want to protect, their pedigree, their standing as the top league. We see our financial, how much of a benefit it is financially for the Premier League. So I think they will do anything and everything they can do to prevent that from happening. So I don't think we'll have to worry about that. But if it did happen, then you're 100% right. That's something we definitely need to be wary of. We will get to a few more of the comments, guys, because you've been commenting a lot tonight, and I know I've missed a lot of them. But we really appreciate all you guys hopping on tonight. It's been a fantastic show. You guys have made it bloody awesome to do. We really appreciate you. But we will get through a few more comments, and then we will have a little bit of a closer look at the game before we head out. So Gogs Singh says, tonight we will turn up and win. It's a game we don't become mentality monsters in the Prem.
You know what? Like, I agree with that. I think we do. I think we do come out today, and I think that loss against West Ham will be actually a very good loss for us, because I think this is a good wake up call to the team, and I'm sure they'll get it right today. And I actually think we win comfortably tonight. But in saying that, if we win tonight, we're definitely. I think we'll hit that top 6 in the Champions League. How disappointed would you be if we end up making just the knockout stage and not going straight to the round of 16?
Yeah, look, you don't want to see any more additional games, to be honest. I'd rather see it the most comfortable way possible. I think we're pretty strong in the Champions League, to be honest.
I think we're very strong in the Champions League at the moment. Like, we're in a very good position. Some of the teams that lost last night it turned out to be good results for us,
Yeah,
so
good, Roundup.
Yeah, so like if we can get it on top of Athletic Club tonight, I mean, we could be potentially in a very, very good position. And I get where we got Marseille coming up away. That's a difficult game. I think that's going to be.
They're dealing with lots of injuries, though, Marseille. They're not the
Well,
side
hopefully
they
by
are.
the time we verse them, that they're still injured, because I mean that's 4 weeks ago. Because you got to remember we've got the international break coming up, and then we've obviously got City before them. So
Yeah.
I mean you've got that, and then obviously we've still got PSG coming last round of that Champions League, but we've got Bayern Leverkusen and PSV as well. So I think those two are winnable games, but we shouldn't be losing to Marseille away. I'll cop a draw. I'll be very happy with a draw if we can get one in Marseille. I mean, that's a difficult place to go and play, and they're a very good side as well.
Well,
Obviously, the ideal is to win the game, but I think that's
yeah,
another one other than PSG that potentially we could drop points.
100%.
But
Look,
we are in a strong position.
we got some favourable games coming up.
We do. You know what?
Marseille-
Honestly, I looked at our draw at the start of the campaign, and I was like, you know what, man? It's actually such a favourable draw. I mean, we've got good swords in there, but they're all very winnable games, except for like obviously PSG away. I mean, I'm not really looking at that thinking we're going to win that. I thought the one that we could have potentially nicked was the one at home to Barcelona, but we got a bit unlucky with that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, we got pretty I wouldn't say favourable, but definitely not the hardest matches in the world coming up against
No.
Leverkusen and Marseille, especially with Marseille's
And
injury
PSV as well, still to come at home as well. So that's what I
100%.
mean. Like it's a favourable draw. I mean, like it's good. It's a good draw for us, and I think that top 8 is not too far away from. Like I think we should be finishing in that top 8. I think if we finish in that knockout stage, I'd be very disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Back to their comments. NUFC Truth again. Question: we're linked with Ryan, a right forward winger. He's the next big star now. That's what we should be signing. Not prem proven, but average. Ryan. Do you know this player, Semi? The winger Ryan?
No, from who?
Unfortunately, yeah. If you could let us know where they're from, NUFC Truth, that'd be much appreciated, mate. Because unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with him. But look, getting more wingers in, never a bad shout considering how inconsistent ours are at the moment.
Yeah, but the thing is, like that, if there's the strongest position right now that we have with depth is our wingers. It really is. Even though some of them aren't performing, I get it. They will end up performing, and really, it's actually so surprising. Like I was saying this the other day, I was like, mate, you know what? You got 2 very good left wingers, and you got 2 very good right wingers. Like you should be battling out who's going to start the game, right? And they're all just playing terrible. They're like, no, I can play worse than you. Not that, not like you. You know what I mean? No. It's like hold me boots, mate. I'll show you. I can't pass.
He's the worst winger of them all.
Come on, mate. You guys got to be better than that.
Yeah, look,
But
it's
I
pretty
think
hard.
it is. I can know, but I think that's the strongest position we've got in our what do you call it? Is our two winger spots. So
Like you
we
mean the most
need a number 10. Depth
most
in the squad, yeah, is our wingers, mate. Our wingers are very good, but just underperforming, which is disappointing, unfortunately.
No, 100%. And Sammy, I think you'll love this comment here by Kenny. Pink shirt, is it Pride Week in Aussie? Sam's been
No,
wearing
mate,
that
I am.
shirt for 4 days in a row, mate. So
No,
I can smell it through the screen. That's why I
it's
keep
so
making it
smokes.
funny.
Mate, you know what? I came home late. It was the first shirt I found, and I was like, bang! I was like, shit! I think I bought this the other day, but it doesn't really matter. It's all good. But no, it's not. I am happily married and with 3 kids, bro. Just putting it out there.
It is a very nice shirt though, Sammy. You look good in it, mate. I don't even know
Thanks,
where
mate.
that pink shirt was from. I needed to cop one of those because they're a very
It's
nice
the
kit.
goalkeeper kit.
Oh, here we got a very, very big comment by Choppy. Celebrates 9 months of membership. Hopefully it won't be another game tonight like what it was versus West Ham. Choppy, mate, thank you very much for being a member for 9 months. It is very much appreciated, mate. And thank you for joining
Thanks,
the
mate. Thank
comments
you.
and getting involved with the video. We see you a lot, Choppy. So big ups on the 9 months, mate. We really appreciate it. And look, mate, I don't think any of us want to see a game even remotely close to West Ham. But I think the boys are going to go out there. I think they're going to get the job done. And I know that's exactly what I said against West Ham. But this time it will be different.
No, it will be different. Why? Because it's at home. Get in, baby. There's nothing like a home game. You know you're coming in. You know they're coming out to perform.
100%, mate. We're coming.
You know why? Because you know what? Honestly, because our fans will definitely let them know if they're not performing. I think that's why they will come out and perform. Look at West Ham. They were. I mean, I don't think I heard our fans against West Ham. To be honest with you, I think they were just as shocked as we were to witnessing what we were watching.
No, that's what I keep saying. It's the bubbles, mate. They got into the fans' eyes. It just
They got into their mouths. They weren't very vocal either.
Get rid of those bubbles. I don't like none of those bubbles. Get rid of those bubbles. And then Phil here. Great show, lads. Makes a huge difference listening to sober discussions. Boki and Win both looked last night. Look, mate, I would be getting on the beers if I could, but if I had one bit, mate, I can barely operate this computer sober, mate. So unfortunately, I can't have any beer while I'm at the helm of this thing. But Phil, mate, we appreciate your comment very much, mate. We love doing this show, guys. So we hope you enjoy it as well, mate. Big ups to you, Phil. And Dempsey here believes that Eddie will drop Botman for Burn. Look,
No.
that actually, I don't think that's a bad idea. Put Hall in at left back, and then you put someone. Dan Burn is very, very, very reliable.
Yeah, but Botman, I get he had a bad game the other day, but he's been actually one of our most solid players as well since coming back into the squad. Him and Malik. You don't want to keep chopping and changing combos because I think they've been very strong together. But you got to remember. What not a lot of people take into consideration. He's saying Botman out. I mean, you don't take Botman out because you got to remember who's outside of Botman. It was Dan Burn at left back. They all have repercussions. Whatever you do has a repercussion. It's got a ripple effect. So if Gordon can't attack, this guy has to help this bloke defend because it's, you know what I'm saying? He's not quick enough to get up and down the pitch. So that's how they scored. That's how Botman scored their own goal. It was the same way.
Well, I think this is what Dempsey is saying, and what, to be honest, I think I'd like to see us set up. Like, if you had Burn and Malik, both centre backs. Trips is fit now, so you could probably put him back at right back, and then start.
To be honest with you, I don't think he's starting Lewis Hall tonight. I can almost certainly. I'm probably 95% sure Hall is not starting tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we can see it happening. So Dan Burn's definitely going to be a left back. So there's no point really talking about the situation. We already know what Eddie's going to go with.
Well, we don't know that, mate. After a performance like West Ham, I think Eddie's going to be open to change as well.
Look, Eddie's been around for about almost close to 4 years, if not 4 years now. We know what Eddie does. He loves to consistently choose the same side.
Well, let's see, Dempsey, mate. We might have a chance of seeing that, but like Semi said, it might not be too serious. Choppy here says, if Silverstone has been put on gardening leave, he can mow my front and back lawns. At least we get something out of it. Look, I don't... Guys, obviously...
Hey, tell him to come down to Australia. I haven't mowed my lawn for about 3 months.
3 months?
No, I'm joking, man. Far out.
You look like the
it's been about 3 weeks. You know what? I got buffalo at the front, right? I mean, it hasn't grown, right? I don't know what the hell's going on with it.
See what I said? This guy was rich before earlier. He just said buffalo grass, like I was meant to know what buffalo grass is. What is buffalo grass, bro?
Hey, I thought the house was existing. Relax.
If you know what type of grass you have in your house, you've got too much money, and you can donate it to me at CoreyCotter621@gmail.com. Thank you very much.
Okay, not a problem, mate. I'll send you a donation of -$5.
I don't even know what gardening leave is, to be honest. Look, it's looking like Pete Silverstone is leaving the club, but is gardening leave like...
Hey, ask Dan Ashworth. He was there for about 6 months.
He's doing a lot of landscaping, Dan Ashworth.
Hey, you know, it's funny. He pushed for the move and got sacked 6 months after.
What an
Oh,
appointment, eh?
but Blake's
What an
funnier than Cal
appointment.
Barron.
That's a smart decision. Dan Ashworth got a big payout. But I think he might have left on anyway. Who cares about it? That's long gone.
Oh God.
But we'll get to a few more comments, guys, and then we probably will wrap it up with a little bit of a closer look at the game. So what else do we have here? We have Darren Lee saying the boardroom a mess currently. Like I said on the WhatsApp group, it's either one, PIF not interested, two, PIF trust in the people to run the club, and they are letting them down. Look, they're two pretty good points there, to be honest. I don't think PIF isn't interested because look what they've done with the club, to be honest. I don't think that's...
I mean, anyone to say that PIF isn't interested, I mean, just look at the difference between the training ground we had 4 years ago to what we have now. And they're looking at building a state-of-the-art, if not the best, in England. And they are looking at building a whole new stadium. I mean, if that's not them being committed, I don't know what is, because we were in the championship about 5 years ago, close to 6 years ago. We were battling to relegation for 4 years straight. We've made Champions League twice. We've won a cup. I mean, look, PSR and the financial fair play haven't helped Newcastle's cause in progressing a lot quicker. But for what we have done is absolutely remarkable. Because if you look at the other teams that ended up doing it, like Man City in 08, it took them a good solid 4 years with all that money being spent to win the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they've put a lot of money into the club, and they are going to be putting a lot more money into the club. And once the club can actually spend money on players in big quantities of it, I mean, in portions, trust me, these guys are going to do it. Because me telling you as an Arab, these guys are not here to just be second. They are here to win everything. Newcastle will eventually win the Premier League and the Champions League. And that is the bottom line.
Darren, just let me know if this is what you're thinking with that sort of comment. Does that comment come from maybe the Saudis shopping around a lot for other clubs, maybe looking to take on too many interest, and maybe not solely focusing on Newcastle? Because I kind of felt that with a lot of the speculation and links that, it's very hard to distinguish between, Saudi ownership and PIF. Does it all fall under one umbrella? Are they different
Of course it
entities?
does.
How does it all operate? So, look, Darren, when they've been shopping around for other big clubs, I've sort of felt that same way. Are they maybe losing interest in Newcastle? But
Yeah,
like
but
Sam,
look, but like you said as well, Cotter, like if you look at the Saudi league, you're saying the Saudi league is up there. Who do you think owns half these clubs in the Saudi league? It's our owners. Our owners are the ones that own them. Look
Well,
what
that's
they can
exactly what
do
I'm
if they
saying,
can
though.
spend money.
Yeah.
Mate, they'll go buy a Cristiano Ronaldo as an example. Like
Yeah.
they will put
I
money
think-
into the club if they can, but right now they just can't do it because we don't have the sponsorship deals to do what we want to do.
But look, I
But
think
that will
Darren's
eventually
comment-
happen with us consistently making Champions League and winning cups, and that it will eventually happen. But you just got to give that time a bit longer because we've started off from a very low position. I mean, we had nothing. I mean, we had to buy the land behind the Gallagher end back because Ashley sold it. Like, I'm just giving you an example of the crap that these guys had to deal with. They had to deal with Ashley's the repercussions of his stupidity. Sorry, but I mean, he wasn't. It was a very good investment for his pocket, but not for anything else.
I can't believe that bloke had to sell land for more money.
Like he sold land that Newcastle owned for years, and then these guys went and bought it back. Like
This is what I'm telling you
like,
guys. He's
it's-
buying Chef
no, but
Wednesday
like-
to rip the chairs
yeah,
out. He's going to put
Like,
him
come
outside
on.
Sports direct clubs.
He's going to get him standing. He's going to put safe standing with no chairs.
Yes.
Hey, I'm selling each chair for $10.
Like, actually, man, it gives me like PTSD.
So, but see,
when
that's
you-
my point, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to look at where the club was and how much further it's gone. Like, they've put a lot of money into places that you're not looking at either. I mean, that training ground, they've put easily over £100 million into that training ground. And if you look at the way it was 3 seasons ago, I mean, they used to sit in garbage bins, mate. We don't do that anymore.
Look, I think
Soon they'll
ultimately,
be doing that at Sheffield Wednesday. If not, they're already doing it.
yeah. But like you said, I think Darren, if you're still watching, mate, let us know if this is just sort of your thinking behind it. Look, with the Saudis being invested in so many things like they are, you just said it yourself, the Saudi Pro League, they're actively trying to buy other clubs at the moment. I think Darren's comment maybe comes from a point of, are they spreading themselves too thin? Is that why our backroom was such a disaster at the end of the season? Is that why our recruitment team wasn't looked at properly? Because we had Eddie Howe's brother doing bloody transfer negotiations. Like the recruitment, the organization, and the
Look,
planning was not there from the Saudis. And could that be
that's
the
why
reason?
Yasser Ramian ended up coming in, and he started taking over all that sort of stuff, because um, Paul Mitchell left us in a bad spot, and I think him and Eddie Howe just did not get along. But if you were going to let go of Paul Mitchell, you needed to have a replacement lined up straight away. And I think that's where we failed. We failed the transfer window by not having a sporting director.
Yeah, 100%.
That's, you know what I mean? And it was, you know what this summer was supposed to be for Newcastle? It was meant to be the biggest summer in the club's history. We were meant to go out there and actually spend big money and to make us compete. And it just set us back another year, if not two. Hopefully we end up making the Champions League again. But right now, with the way we're playing, it doesn't look like it. So our best bet is to try and win the Champions League, which is a bit of a tough ask, to be honest. So I don't know.
100%.
Hopefully we turn it around and we'll go from there. So
Darren, very good comment, mate. Look, you've raised some very good points, and I think both of those scenarios could be true, could not be, but they're good points to talk about. And then we have Kim Cam here. It's not good to have a revolving door at Newcastle. PIF is playing management game when we need to be building training grounds and new stands. Playing management game. Yeah, look, 100%. I think we're seeing a lot of changes in the backroom staff. I think a lot of this stuff is obviously geared to be doing some of these changes we want to see. So we got to give it a little bit of time. But to be honest, for us having so many changes in the backroom stuff, it's almost like our backroom changes more than the bloody playing squad. A lot of rotation.
look, it might be good for us because look, you need change sometimes. Like yeah, but that's what annoys me. Like I mean, you get people saying that sort of stuff, right? But then they're not looking at what they've done. Look at what they've done. I mean, we hadn't made the Champions League for 20 years. We hadn't won a cup for 70 years. These guys have come in within 4 years. We've broken both.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they've put money into the club. These guys have changed. Newcastle was bought for 300 mil. Now it's worth $1 billion. It's worth £1 billion. Guys, wake up to yourselves. These guys are invested. They are there for the long haul. You just got to give it time. I told you, PSR and financial fair play have not helped Newcastle's cause. But once they can get going, I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed. Trust me, I know these guys. I know what these guys are planning on doing.
100%. And we have a very, very big comment here. I wish I could play some sort of drum roll, have fireworks going off in the background, because the mighty Win has entered the chat, the true OG of the channel, one of my favorite blokes out there. Hey guys, great show, boys. Big Dan Burn forever. And I said this earlier, guys, when we're getting a little bit of Dan Burn criticism. Every time the name gets mentioned, Win arises and he comes to his defense. So, look, guys, all fun and banter. And
Love you, Win.
You Win. Love you, mate. Thanks for jumping
mate,
on.
But like I said, mate, we love Big Dan Burn. We do love him, just not at left back, mate.
Foxy here with another Australian-related comment, which we haven't had too many of. But Sydney has one of Peru's best players at the moment, Piero Giuseppe. You ever go to watch them or any other A-League side? Myself personally, I'm a big Western Sydney Wanderers fan. Pretty big fan. I go to most of the matches, but unfortunately, mate, I don't know the player you're talking about. But for the A-League to have any nation's top player, is a big doubt for me, mate, because the Australian League is worse than the English Sunday League. I promise you, you could get the 3 worst, biggest alcoholic Sunday League sides, and they would put on a performance against Sydney FC. We are rubbish.
Hey,
We
don't talk
are
about Sydney
rubbish.
FC. Talk about your own club within Western Sydney Wanderers. But look, I'll
Mate,
go for
we're
Sydney
Asian
FC, and I don't think I've
Champions
watched the game. Honestly, I've not watched the game for about 10 years. Like,
League.
I don't
Send
know
it. Take
who
care.
plays for them. Yeah, I can't watch the A League because the problem is once you watch the Premier League, the A League looks like grammars running around.
Sammy, we've got a question here from Dempsey, mate. If you come to Newcastle, will you bring us some cherry ripes from your news agency? Mate, cherry ripes are my favourite Cadbury chocolate. I love them. I get a lot of stick for loving the
Mate,
cherry
you know
ripes.
what? I will
They
get
are
you some
so
cherry ripes, mate. But we just got to make sure that we head up there first. Once we're heading up there, mate, I will get you a box of cherry ripes. I promise you.
Yeah, guys. Once the breakfast show makes our way up to Newcastle, we're all gonna have a big meet up. Get on the cherry ripes, get on the beers, and
Mate, we'll all go
celebrate
to the St.
the team.
James's Stack.
That's it, mate. St. James's Stack. Hopefully, a little bit of a behind the scenes. Hopefully, we're getting an interview with some of the guys at the Stack here on the breakfast show. But we'll keep it on the down low. We'll keep it as a secret for now, even though I've just told the whole show. But
Well done, mate. Great secret.
alrighty, guys, we will get to a few more comments. I know I've missed the majority of the comments tonight, guys, but it's been a great show. So if I have missed your comments, I do apologize. We just had a lot more than I was anticipating. And then we will finish the show just looking over the game one last time. So Gavin Fuller says, you can't play high press, high energy for all the games we have. We don't seem to do it away. Is that why we have not won away since February? Well, look, I think our press has absolutely fallen off a cliff, not only in that game, but I think in the majority of the games, even some of the games we've won, I think our press is probably suffering. You know, you bring in a player like Big Nick who oozes quality, but I think maybe one of his only downsides is his ability to press the ball. And I think that affects a lot of the press from behind him. So, look, mate, I think that's a very good point, and I agree with it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, as soon as we've got Big Nick, the press should stop. We shouldn't be pressing anymore. The only way or the only time we should be pressing is if it's a goal kick. Not when it's sort of not as soon as they get out of that box area. If they're in that box area, okay, by all means press. But anything past that point, don't press anymore. Because what it does, once it doesn't press and somebody else goes into press, it creates gaps, and that's where unfortunately we have been leaking goals, and that's the way we lost against Liverpool this season because we went for the press with the less men.
Well, I think the reason our press isn't as aggressive as well. It's not just Big Nick, obviously not being able to do that probably physically demanding role as much.
No, it's only because he doesn't have the speed to press. That's literally why.
It's also left back. I think with the no pace there. I think that's probably making us a little
that's
bit more
right.
reluctant to do such a high press. But I agree with you, Gavin. I think there are probably 2 reasons why we're not seeing that implemented as much as we should be. We'll get to a few more comments, guys. I know I keep saying it, but the more I keep not reading them, the more I keep flooding in. That's another comment to Kenny, so we won't cover that one, mate. And then Gaza, we will get destroyed off Sunderland. Mark my words. Gaz, mate, what are you bringing that negativity to us on an early morning, mate?
No, it's not negativity. I mean, look, Sunderland have been playing brilliant football. I mean, like I said, we hate Sunderland, but at the end of the day, it's a football show. We've got to talk about football, and they have been playing better football than us. They really have. But then again, they don't have 3 games 3 games a week. That's the difference. We have 3 games a week. That's why I think the press shouldn't happen. Is because we are getting obviously overworked. But I think when it comes to the crunch, we will turn up. I don't know what it was. There was something about that West Ham game. I think just everyone didn't want to be a part of it. Maybe they were looking forward to this game. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
All righty. Well, look, guys, that's a possibility, mate, but it's one I definitely don't want to see at all. Darren Lee here. Unless Simon Jordan buys Wendy, as rumoured, as well from his own mouth on TalkSport. Simon Jordan, mate, probably one of the only characters you could mention above Ashley, and I hate them just as equally. Can't stand the bloke. Look, mate, if you're a Wednesday fan and you're getting linked with Simon Jordan and Ashley, it's not a good day to be a Wednesday fan. Yeah, look, that's the worst news you can be waking up to. Imagine you're a Wednesday fan, you go to bed, and then you wake up. Your club's going through changes. A bit of optimism is about to walk through the door. New ownership, maybe brighter pastures. And then you look at your phone. Mike, Ashley, and Simon Jordan are linked, and then you go back to bed, and then the nightmare begins again for Wednesday fans. Look, mate, yeah, just shocking, just shocking. Really feel bad for him, but look, hopefully they can do a job at a smaller club. Who knows? Title of the show should be Sam's enjoying watching Sunderland this season. Shock, exactly right. Thank you, Foxy. Look,
No,
mate,
I'm not enjoying watching Sunderland. I watch a lot of the Premier League games. I'm just telling you what I see. I mean, if you can't see it, you're blind, I guess. But like I
look, mate,
said,
everyone
it's
can see it, but do we want to
yeah.
comment?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, look. There's, you know what? There's nothing wrong with praising a side, even though you hate them. I hate Liverpool. They did brilliantly today. Look, I can't stand Arsenal, mate. They're top notch at the moment. Sometimes it's not about okay. You cannot talk highly of the clubs you obviously dislike. But I mean, look, mate, we're all football fans. At the end, we sit down, we watch the football games. We want to watch entertaining football, and mate, like these guys have come up from the relegation zone. I mean, from the championship, they've beaten Chelsea away. They've been brilliant at home. I mean, I don't think they have not had one competitive game that they really haven't performed in. I mean, look at them, mate. They're basically second on the table if they won today in the morning, or for you guys last night. So I
Alrighty,
mean, like,
I'm gonna put a stop here to the Sunderland talk.
mate, like I said, I am a football fan. I am not just talking about Sunderland. Come, Tyne Derby week, mate. I'm telling you, I'm a slugger.
All right. Anyway, enough of those putrid black cats. Let's get back to the comments before we end the show, guys. Once again, couldn't appreciate you guys enough for joining the chat today. You guys have been absolutely unreal. A lot of comments flooding in, and like I said, I do apologize if we don't get to all of them. But look, the support has been unreal. All your comments and everything, they go such a long way. Yeah, look, guys, I know I've said it a few times tonight, but we really do appreciate it. Yeah, and if I could just get you guys to maybe like the video, it just helps Chrissy and the boys see that the video is doing well, and it ultimately helps the channel as well. So thank you guys very much. And another one here from Michael Little. What time is kickoff for you lads in Australia? So it will be 7 a.m. tomorrow for us. I know it's a bit of a wig out for you guys, but yeah, it'll be 7 a.m.
Well,
in the
it's
morning.
an 11-hour difference between us and you guys at the moment. So
So for
yeah,
us,
7 a.m. kickoff.
Thursday for us, 7 in the morning. So that's a lot better. It's probably the ideal time slot. Usually they're at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So
That's
when we
that's
wake
our
up,
that's our game against Brentford. Is it? That's a 1 a.m. on a bloody Monday morning. I mean,
yeah. So you can
but
imagine me and Sam waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch the West Ham game, and then just having absolute bloody nightmares going back to bed.
I look like Tom from Tom and Jerry. I had bloody toothpicks holding my eyelids.
Thanks for that, Michael. Tim Clark, mate, haven't seen you, so appreciate you jumping on board. Eddie Howe was asked about a number 10 recently, and his reply was with, yeah, Eddie, Tim, we covered that at the end of the show, mate, a few times, that statement from Eddie. But like we said, with our formation, the 4-3-3, very, very versatile formation. I don't think you need to always play with a number 10, but I think, when we come against these sides that are going to play such a low block, I think you can always transition that midfield to have a number 10, and I think we'll benefit from that. And then we have one from Gogs Singh. I don't put pressure on NUFC to win. All I want to see is the whole team trying and giving it all. I agree with
I
you,
think that's
mate.
what was the most disappointing about the West Ham loss. I don't mind the loss, like I said, against Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal. There's nothing wrong with losing, honestly, because at the end of the day, you're either going to win or lose or draw a game. It's that simple. There's only a 33% chance of you winning the game. But whenever you go out and you give yourself no chance of winning the game because you've come out with such a poor performance, if not one of the worst I've seen under Eddie Howe. No, I don't accept that as a fan, because like I said, here in Australia, I was up at 1 a.m. watching that game, and it doesn't end till 3 a.m. on a Monday morning, and that's a working day for us, obviously. So, I mean, I was not happy that night or in the morning, should I say?
Oh, it was I, mate. Absolute disaster class. And then we have Geordie Dan, another big fan of the channel, mate. He was supporting the first video very much. So big ups to you, Geordie Dan, mate. We appreciate you a lot. And Geordie Dan says, if the backroom staff ain't good enough, then they should be moved on. Our CEO is doing a 100-day review, and if it feels like they are not delivering, then it's best to part ways. We aren't a charity. And mate, I think that's a very good point, and I think that's very interesting considering Peter Silverstone leaving. I don't know if that's got to do with the 100-day review, or maybe they're just suddenly
It must be. It must be.
100%. Look, the club's
It has to be. I mean, like, look, for background, I mean, they came out and they said it before he left. So I'm assuming he was a part of the 100-day review. I mean, like, look, you've done all right, but we need to go to the next step now. Right? I mean, go on to bigger and better things. So if we can get the bigger and better things, I mean, we are cheering about that, I guess.
100%, 100%. So, guys, not much breaking news, unfortunately, today. But if you have joined the show a little bit later on, just a few things to go over. Bruno Guimaraes is looking a little bit doubtful for the game. There's no injury concern, but a bit of fitness, a cold, I should say. Everyone's getting sick at the moment. Tonali has absolutely infected the boys. Coronavirus is back at St. James's Park. But look, unfortunately, hopefully it's nothing too big for Bruno and we do see him feature, whether that's off the bench or not. We're not too sure. And then obviously a little bit of a concern with Gordon's hip. Did come off at halftime against West Ham. Whether that was a tactical decision or more of an injury, I think we'll know later on before today's game. But
Look,
look,
hopefully they'll all be good for tomorrow, or for tonight, should I say.
Yeah, so those two are doubts. Kieran Trippier obviously training with the lads this week, so we could see him involved in the Champions League game, but I don't know if he'll start or they'll stick Kraft in, but I think they'll probably give
No,
Trips
please, Craft, please, Trippier. Somebody just, mate. You know what? Even if they're on a wheelchair, just bring him in. I think they'll do a better job.
Then who Kraft?
Yeah, man, just anyone, man. Just please
Bro,
put me
Kraft was
Trippier
absolutely
and ball.
unreal.
Kraft's all right.
Kraft
Kraft's all right.
was
But I mean,
unreal
like, look,
against
if you watch
Newcastle,
the,
Newcastle were unreal. He was great. But,
I get it. I'm
yeah,
like I said, like, mate, we need our best playing. If our players are fit and raring to go, play them for the love of God.
yeah. So the
You
side
know what I mean?
tomorrow probably looking like I would say Ramsdale in goal. I'm pretty confident in that.
Fingers
Might
crossed.
see-
I'll get fingers crossed. I'll
Probably
give
will be
you a buzz
seeing,
in the morning.
probably be seeing Burn at left back. If
Yep.
not, probably Hall, but a very unfit Hall at that. Botman and Tiao at centre back, or you could see Burn come in, or Shah. Look, it just depends how we were set up. Then right backs, obviously going to be Kieran Trippier or Kraft. Midfield 2, I think we'll probably see Tonali and
It's gonna be Tonali, Jolinton, and Bruno. It's gonna happen. I mean, like,
if
we're
Bruno's
more
not
good
there,
expect it.
if Bruno's not there, I'd like to see Willett come into the side or Ramsey. And then I think
No,
up top, I'd probably put Barnes on the left, Big Nick up top, and then it has to be Murphy on the right. You pretty happy with that side, Sammy boy?
no. I already told you my side.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, fair enough.
I told you. Mate,
little
you
bit.
play with your best starting 11. You have to start Gordon.
I think I
He
mentioned
is.
pretty close to the best starting 11.
No, it's
Gordon's got
not.
a hip injury, man. Gordon's not the player. He's great, man. I know it's Champions League, but
Look, mate, I told you it's all
not on
talk,
it like
talk,
that
talk.
much.
Look, if he's not gonna look, if he's fit, he's starting. It's that simple. Barnes is not starting the game. I can promise you, he's not starting the game.
We will see about that.
Hey, look,
Anyway,
you're a betting man. How much you want to bet?
oh mate, after all that money I've been losing on bloody Liverpool lately, I don't want to bet anything else. But
Hey, you know why I'm rich? You know why I'm rich, cause it's because I don't bet.
yeah, look, you don't have to rub it in. Guys, look at this fancy eastern suburb, Sydney man. Rubbing it in.
I live in Moorebank. I'm like 15 minutes away from your house.
Guys, he's lying. He lives in he lives in the most expensive area of Sydney. He owns a news agency. The guy, he's got buffalo grass, whatever that means, guys. I don't even know what buffalo grass is. This guy's telling me he's not rich. If you,
Oh
like I said
god,
before, if you can name the type of grass you have, you've got too much money, guys. It's just a fact.
mate. You know what? I'm just disappointed you don't know what grass you have.
I had to swear then, guys. Forgot I was on radio. Anyway, so yeah, that's the team news for Newcastle. And then
What do you reckon the score's going to be tomorrow, Cos?
2-0, I think. A clean sheet, 2 goals.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking the same. I think it'll be a 2-goal difference, maybe like 3-1 to 2-0, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Mate, look, if we can get more than that, I'll be bloody stoked. I mean,
yeah.
the more goals, the higher up the table we're going to go.
All right. So yeah, that's the Newcastle team news at the moment, and then we look at Athletic Club. Both Williams brothers looking pretty doubtful for the game, as well as Sunset at centre mid, probably their 3 best players. So look, not great team news for them, but it is great news for us. And just concluding, guys, if you did miss anything, Bruno a doubt due to sickness, Gordon a hip injury, I should say, and operator Pete Silverstone has been put on gardening leave. He's going to go do some landscaping. So with that, guys, that concludes the end of the show. Once again, the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate all you guys commenting, interacting, liking the comment. It's been heaps of fun doing the breakfast show and talking to all of you lovely people from Newcastle. We will be back tomorrow. I think it's at 8:30 your time, but we will have that 30-minute reminder before that comes out. If I could get you guys, please, to just like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And any finishing thoughts from you, Sammy boy?
Mate, away the tune, and let's get the job done tonight, guys. And hopefully everyone has a great time.
That's it, guys. We really appreciate you once again, and we hope that you guys join us again tomorrow morning. Until then, guys, see you later, alligator.
Take it easy, guys.
Early in the morning. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon.